All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your Real Talk Show. I'm yours truly, Edison Sinat. We here is Thursday night. I'm excited because this is the best day of the week. Why? Because we come together and we tackle real issues and real solution for people that want to be educated, want to be investors. Every Thursday night, we break down the numbers, we kill the myth, and we give you step by step move where you can act on it every day. So we don't talk about fluff. We don't go hype anything else. We bring real people with real strategy, with stories and straight answers from pros that can help you in the long run. Once again, my name is Edison Sinat, and every night I can't surprise myself, pinching myself because I keep bringing the best of the best every Thursday night. And you won't believe who do I have today. This is somebody that is dear to me. She one of my coaches. She helped me to the next level on my storytelling. I am about to bring you guys a star. But let me introduce her properly as we are launching. As we live today. Let me read a bio and I'll bring her in. Okay, guys, you guys are ready for that? For those of you watching today, you guys are here for a treat. The person that I'm introduced to today, her name is Star Barberton. She's a dynamic keynote speaker, a storytelling coach, and a former attorney who has spent more than 30 years helping leaders and entrepreneurs and organizing people in community and help them get clarity, confidence, and impact, be impactful. With a background that spans from law, performance, corporate training, and personal development, Star bring a rare blend of expertise that empowers people to own their voice and show up boldly in every room. Her work has influenced teams across industries and inspired countless individuals to lead with authenticity and purpose. She's known for her magnetic presence, transformative coaching style, specialized in teaching people how to craft compelling stories. Now, let's friends. She is deeply committed to help others overcome self-doubt, stand in their power, and use their voice as a tool for change. Whether you're speaking on stage or coaching one-on-one or training corporate teams, Star mission remains the same: to elevate, unlock confidence, and equip people to lead with excellence. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my friend, my coach, Barbara. Let's
I love it. I
go.
love it.
Star, how you doing?
Edison, I am fabulous, brother. It is so good to
Listen,
see you. It's so good to see.
you don't know how excited I am. When I spoke to you about a month ago and I said I was like shine, I said, Star, can you please come hang out with me on a Thursday night? And when you say yes, I was like, oh my God, she said yes. It's like, did she say yes? I was so excited knowing how busy you are helping people and to create some time to spend some time with me. I am very, 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 very happy that you could create some time for me. And for real, this is great.
Absolutely,
This
absolutely.
is
All the,
great.
you
This
know,
is great.
the people like you that I've worked with, you're like family. So
Yes,
yeah, what you need, I got you.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So we're gonna right into it. Thursday night we gather with some friends, some great leaders, and then we talk about stories, right? Because it looked like story matter. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think stories are very important. They're probably the one of the most important things that you have
Uh-huh.
as an entrepreneur, as a
Mhm.
business owner, as a leader. Your
Uh-huh.
stories are very important.
Okay, story is important. I remember there was one of the speakers that said story is so important that Jesus Christ himself he speak with stories in
Yeah,
parables in story tell story is the master of storytelling. So story is not something that started yesterday. It's something that been there a while, but we just have to understand that power to have in stories, right?
exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
okay. Now I know you. I had a chance to spend a year under your leadership, learning and crafting my story. You made a difference in my life. So I know I feel like a little selfish because I know who you are, who you work with. Would you give enough to tell us your story? What's your story, Star? We'll come up with the name Star. Start with from the beginning. Who name you Star and how
But
that star been helping you?
my
Uh-huh.
mother made me start because she had big dreams for me. From the
Okay.
time I was 7 years old, I was on stage. I
Mm,
was in movies, I was doing television, I was on stage in commercials. I was doing all of that, and I absolutely loved it. But when I turned 16 years old,
mhm.
I had the opportunity to audition for the lead role in a prime time television show, right? Now this is back when we had three channels, right? So it was
Okay,
like
I remember. Yeah, scout the TV.
and so I had the opportunity to audition for, the lead role, and I got it, right? This is
Mhm,
a dream come true. This is the rocket fuel for my career. But
mm, mm,
it seemed that when I was in the spotlight, it was causing a lot of, tension
mhm,
in my inner circle, just tension, resentment, hostility, and I didn't understand it because I was just a child. So when I
mhm,
turned 18 years old, I decided I was done.
mm,
That's it. I walked away from the stage, and what I did essentially is I dimmed my light and I muted my voice,
mm.
trying to make other people happy, satisfied. And, as you know, that doesn't work in life.
Right,
But
right.
went on to have a pretty good life. You know, I got married, I had kids, I became an attorney. Everything is beautiful,
Mhm,
and yet something wasn't right. You know, I would drive home from my fancy lawyer, office in my fancy car, and I would
mhm,
hold on to the steering wheel and press a smile on my face and remind myself of how much I had to be grateful for. I should be happy,
mhm,
but something wasn't right. I
mhm,
don't know if you've ever experienced that, Edison, where nothing is wrong, and I mean nothing is wrong,
mhm.
but something's just not right. Have you experienced that?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Something not right.
Just
Um,
something not right. But I wasn't willing to do anything about it because did I mention that I had a good life, right? We
yeah,
got
you did.
we got cars.
Big time attorney.
That's right, big time attorney,
Uh-huh.
right? We got cars, we got houses, vacation, kids in private school. Look, I am
Uh,
not messing that
living it, living it.
up. I'm
Mhm,
living a life. But my mentor used to say, when you are too afraid to make a move in your life,
mm.
life will move on you.
Come on,
And in the
come on.
span of a year, Edison,
Mm,
life moved on me. In the
wow.
span of a year, my father died.
Mm,
My job went away. My marriage fell apart
wow. In a year.
in a year. All of the anchors of my life
Mm,
were now gone. And I felt like I was untethered. I was floating around. I was spiraling into a dark depression. And
mm.
during this time, a friend of mine invited me to a one of these motivational seminars. You know the type.
Yeah, yep, yep, yep.
They got the great big speakers, and they're
Yes,
gonna say things and make you feel better. So she
correct.
invited me to this, and you know what I said, Edison?
You
I
said
said,
no?
"Thank you. No, thank you. You know what? I am here having a
A
pity party."
meltdown.
Exactly, and I
Yeah.
was gonna have my meltdown, but you know what? I went,
Mm,
which is the importance of having the right people around you. I
correct.
went to this seminar, and there were all of these amazing speakers, and as I watched them go across the stage, I suddenly remembered that I used to be a speaker.
Mm.
That not a speaker, that I used to be on the
On
stage,
stage. Yeah.
right? And I remembered how much I loved it and how at home I felt.
Mhm.
And that's when I decided to come back to the stage, this time as a speaker and a trainer. I ended up training with world-renowned motivational speaker Les Brown.
Les
Chicago.
Brown. Oh my goodness. Yes, you work with Les Brown, the Les Brown.
That's right, the one and only.
You
I ended
run
up running his speaker training program. I was program manager for him.
okay.
I went on to work for a national training company. I was number 1 in
Come on.
sales and in performance,
Uh-huh.
performing. And, you know, people started asking me to help them
Mhm.
do what I do. I'd like to be on the stage. And so I became a presentation coach. And as you know, I was
Okay.
vice president of programs in another training company where
Correct.
we focus on telling your story.
Sorry. That's right.
Right.
Man,
And
this
so
is this is awesome. So you went to life, you have the gift, you forgot about it, or you didn't forget about it. You were trying to appease other people, go
right.
after some other dream, but not living your life.
Exactly. Exactly. I spent many, many years, as I said, muting my voice. Uh,
Mm,
and in this process of unmuting myself,
yeah.
I've gone through a lot. I've done
Mhm.
the training, the coaching, the therapy. I've done a lot of stuff. But what I realize is that I'm not the only one.
You're
That
not.
there are many people who go through
Yes.
life and they have some moment in their childhood, in their young life where they learn the lesson that
Yes.
they're either too much or they're not enough,
Correct. That's
and
good.
they mute their voices, they dim their lights, and so that's why now I am on this mission.
Come
I'm
on.
on the mission of helping people to elevate their communication so that they
Right.
can have the voices and express the messages that they were meant to express, to
Right.
be the stars that they were born to be.
Come on, come on. That is so awesome. I gotta clap for that. Listen, I am so amazed with that because people need not just a star is not meant to be somewhere hidden under a table. A star need to be on the sky shining, lighting light, right, for people to see. Now, what would you say to someone? Dive into this discussion, guys. This is so interesting. I'm excited. I'm ready to understand somebody that find a passion. When you find your passion, you can tell to her voice, friends, those of you watching, that she found a passion and that's what she meant to be. It's like you wake up in the morning when you're doing what you're doing, star, and then you're like, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Do you feel this way sometimes?
I feel that way very often. I feel that way when I was working with you.
I guess.
Um, I feel that way so often. I had a client just the other day, a one-on-one client doing presentation coaching, and so it's the end of the day. I'm a little tired.
Mhm.
I've coached a lot of people. I've done all the work that I have to do, and so okay, I got a coaching client. I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
fine. But I find myself getting into it and getting
Yeah.
exciting. And you know what's the best part?
Yeah.
The best part of the work that I do is when I dig around and I uncover the hidden gems that are already
Yeah.
inside of you, right?
Yes.
I
Yes.
I've done that with you,
Yes,
where
you
we
did.
just we talk and talk, and I dig and I dig and I dig, and then you come up with something brilliant. I
Yes.
don't come up with it. You do, but
Yes.
the point of being a coach is to be able to see it and to
Mhm.
stop you and say, "Wait, wait, wait, wait.
Right. Yes.
What you just said,
Yes.
that's the goal."
Yeah, I remember.
I love
I remember like it was yesterday. I share my story often here in this platform. I tell people that I thought was a closed door, but through coaching for people like you let me know, no, it's just the beginning, And when I felt it was sad, it was no, you said no. Let me feel it, Edison.
I
Like, you gotta feel it. I think that's true because this is one of my questions again that follow up. There's a lot of people that feel like they're not their life or their story is not special enough. What would you say to someone that feel like, I don't worth my story is not worth sharing?
People say that all the time, and I am
Mm,
always amazed at that. I was at a networking meeting, and someone was sharing this story, and I'm like, "Oh my God, do you know how beautiful that story was?" And they're
yeah.
like, "What? Really? What story?" The thing is, you know, and I've heard this said that you can't see the picture when you're in the frame.
I went, ooh,
Right?
that's good.
You can't see it. You can't see the label when you're in the jar.
In the
So a
jar.
lot of people are in the jars of their lives, so they can't
Right.
see it.
That's right.
That's why you need someone
Yeah.
on the outside to see it. Everyone has a story. Now, not
Mhm.
every story is going to be, uh, that I went, I was strung out on drugs,
Yeah.
or I was kidnapped as a child. Not
Yeah.
everybody
Might
has
have
that,
that yeah, yeah, that dramatized
and
yeah.
you don't have to have
Yeah.
that drama trauma story.
Yes.
What you need is a story that people can relate to,
Mm.
you know? Like my story, I don't think my story is that dramatic,
Mhm.
I had a good life, except
Yeah,
that something was missing.
correct.
Everybody can feel that.
Everybody.
Everybody has been in a time and a place where something just wasn't right.
Correct.
And the thing about it is the work that I do, the work that we do in stories is finding that thing that's relatable.
Okay.
We get that part of the story, and we've
Mhm.
got a story that people can relate to,
That's
right?
right.
Not everyone, not everyone can relate to the
Mhm.
really dramatic stories. They
Right.
feel for you, but they can't
Yeah.
always relate. But
Yes.
those simple things, simple life things,
Mhm.
that's where people can relate. And yes, I
Yeah.
am a gold miner.
That's right. You see that? You see that? I like it. That is so true. It's the facts. You find the gold, you find a diamond, diamond in the rough, and then you let it listen. I see diamond, you see mud, and I can take the mud,
Exactly.
I take the mud out of it, which is perfect. So every story matter. Everybody have a story. My story doesn't have to be like your story. And then would you say don't even try to compare your story to my story either, because everybody have their own blueprint or their own thing that they're offering to the world.
Yeah.
So my following is what separate a good story from a truly transformational story that moves people to action? What is the thing that separate?
Well, the first thing is what is the message?
Mm,
Understanding what is it that you want the audience to walk away thinking at the end of your story. A lot of people will tell a story, I'm just going to share my truth and
yeah,
it's going to help
that's true.
people.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. And
Mhm.
that story doesn't have a point. It
Mm,
doesn't have a message. And you've heard people who tell
yeah.
stories and you're like, oh,
What's your
okay.
point?
Exactly. You're like, "Good for you," but
Yeah,
I'm not making any connection. So first of all, it's
mhm,
gotta have a message
um,
that people need to hear. That is the
correct.
first thing. The second thing a good story needs is structure.
Ah, I
Mm,
agree.
needs structure. You have heard people tell stories where they're talking about left, right, and
Oh
thirds
my goodness, their own cousin, I'm like, "What's your point, man? Look, get to the
all
point."
over the place because
Yeah,
there's no structure. And I tell
yeah.
people stories are very simple. It's very simple. You ready? I'm gonna give you the
Come on.
secret
Should I
sauce.
should I
You
let
ready
me take
for
my
it?
notes. Let me take my get my paper and my note
Get
now.
the
Go
paper.
ahead, let's
Here's
go.
the notes.
Let's go.
This is how you structure a story. All right. All
Uh-huh.
right. Pay attention. Pay attention.
I am. Class is in session.
Beginning, middle, and end. That's it. That's
That's
how you
it?
tell a story.
Man, that's it.
That's it. Now people laugh. I teach this all the time.
Yeah.
People laugh when I teach that. But how many times do you have people telling you stories that start in the middle?
Mhm.
Just start just in the and you're like,
Or they
"Wait,"
don't know where to start.
right? So and there's no context. They don't
Yeah,
start in the beginning, or they might be like my sister, my daughter.
yeah.
My daughter cannot tell a story to save her life.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
My
I hope
daughter,
she's
she's like, "Mommy,"
she's, like,
so she's
watching
gonna
now.
listen. My God, she's like, "Mommy, I was at the park and I was there with Hannah and Genevieve, and there was a bee." End of
That's it.
end of story. End of story. See,
Oh
she had
my
a beginning,
goodness.
she had a middle, she
And
didn't have an end.
that's right.
People do this all the time.
Yeah,
And so what makes a story phenomenal, what makes it really capture is that it has those 3 points.
that's 3
And the
points.
last thing, the third thing that I would say that
Mhm.
makes a story phenomenal is the feeling,
Feeling,
the
the feel.
emotion. So
Yeah,
many people leave the emotion out of the story. It becomes not storytelling, but more story reporting,
yeah.
right? They're reporting the things that happen, but they're not really telling a story
That's
because they
right.
don't have that emotional connection. So
Mm,
those are the three things that I think make a story phenomenal. The first thing is to be clear on your message. Know what the
right.
heck Your
Yeah.
point is have some structure and make sure you tap into the emotions.
Tap into the emotion. Now this is good. This is good. I took notes, and I'm great that people that are watching today they can learn from the Star Barberton, learning how to structure the story. It sounds simple, but it takes practice. Would you agree? It sounds simple.
It does take, and it's simple, but it does take practice. That's why
Yeah,
people are always laughing when I say
yeah,
beginning, middle, and end, but really it's simple, but it's powerful.
yeah. Because I've seen around leaders, people
Mhm,
with CEOs or people with trying to craft a story. They
mhm.
know they have it, but they don't understand the structure or how to add the feelings or how to get people to walk away with something. It become something really challenging. Now, let me ask you this. This is simple, but for some, they may have you ever get tired of telling your story?
So I get tired of telling my story.
Yeah. Like, do you
So
have to come up with a new story every time or every situation or
so here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Uh-huh.
You know my good friend Andy Henriquez, right? Who's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
expert storyteller. And
Yes.
so in our earlier days, because we both studied with Les Brown back in the day,
Mhm.
and when I started speaking, I would call Andy and go, "Hey, Andy." Now Andy knew my signature story, right?
Right.
So I would call him up and say, "Hey, Andy, I'm talking to some medical professionals. I'm just wondering what story should I tell them?" He's like, "Tell your signature story." I'm like, "No, no, no, but this is a different audience." And he would say, "Tell your signature story." And then I'd have another opportunity. I'd call him up and say, "Hey, brother, what story should I tell?" And he's always saying, "You tell your signature story because
Mm.
that's the one you're known for. That's the one that tells the audience who you are."
Mhm.
And so, do I get tired of telling my story? I don't get tired of it. Now that I understand the importance of having that key story, I don't get tired of it. Now it shifts a little bit.
Mhm.
So I don't change the story for every audience, but I do shift sort of maybe the plot for some people. One of my signature stories is how I became an attorney. And
Mhm.
sometimes the point is overcoming adversity. But sometimes I tell the same story when I talk about what it takes to be a leader.
Mhm.
I pick out the different parts of the story and I focus here or I focus there. So you have your signature story. The bones of it
Mhm.
always stay the same, but sometimes you accessorize in a different way.
Accessorize. Yeah, you know what? That is so great what you said because yesterday or the day before, I was watching IMO. I think it's a podcast with Michelle Obama and his brother. And
Okay.
then they had Cat William and two as a guest. Now, Cat William has been with that sport guy on YouTube channel, make scandal. I mean, big old deal. But he
Mhm.
was telling his story. Do you know what? For some crazy reason, he went to that same podcast and tell his story. You know, what's funny. I was helping him tell his story because I heard this story like so many times. I'm like, from all the thing that Cat have done, his story say the same. I can even tell the story. So basically, your story it's not something that fade away because that's your story, and some you should not stop stalking and presenting your story to any audiences.
Nope, nope, absolutely not. If you go listen to Les Brown, he is
Yeah,
telling the same
same.
story. You gotta
Yes,
be hungry.
hungry.
Talked
Yeah.
about that for some 40 years.
About the radio, how he got the
No,
job.
exactly. See how you know it? And look at
Yeah,
your face. Look at your
yeah.
face,
Yeah,
Edison.
I just know it. Well, I'm excited too because I had the chance to sit down and shake the hand of
Yes,
Les
that's right.
Brown,
You sure did.
Yes, I did. That's it. See, talking about this guy have presence, and I want to talk about presence because I know now, Star, when you somewhere, and I miss you though. when you somewhere, you feel your presence.
Aw.
And so the wishes lead to my next question. What does presence really mean to you? And why does it matter so much in leadership, in sales, in ministry, or in business?
So I had a client. Her name was Eldana Lewis Fernandez.
Mhm.
and she hired me to help her with a presentation. Now she gave me a video of a presentation that she already did. It was
Mhm.
her. She was in her military fatigue. She was sitting on a chair, holding a picture of her young son, talking about how hard it was to leave him when she was deployed. It was lovely, very sweet, very nice,
Mm.
but it wasn't memorable, right?
Mm.
But she had an opportunity now to speak in front of 2,000 people, so she hired me, and we changed a few things. First of all, I had her in her military blues, her blue dress, the jacket, the skirt, and
Yeah.
the medals gleaming, and her crisp hat. She just
Yes.
so first of
Yes.
all, we
Yes.
elevated how she looked,
The
and
look. The
then
look. Yeah.
instead of coming in from the side of the stage like everyone else did, I had her come from the back of the room, from the
Mm.
audience. She marched up that center aisle,
Mm.
got up to the stage, and she saluted, and the audience erupted in a standing ovation. Standing
Mm.
ovation. Look, she hadn't even spoken yet.
Mm.
That's
Standing
what
ovation.
that's what presence is.
Right.
It is how you show up and what you say before you ever open your mouth. And
Mm.
it's so important as a speaker, as an entrepreneur, and as a leader, because that presence speaks first. Now, how do you build your own presence? And one of the things that people don't understand. Now, yes, it's about how you dress. Absolutely. It's about
Mhm.
how you carry yourself, how you walk into a room. But what it's really based on are your values.
Value.
Your values. When you understand your values and you are walking and talking in your values, um, that affects the way you walk, the way you talk, your
Mm.
energy. When you know who you are,
Mhm.
you just walk in the room differently.
That's
And
right.
that is part of your presence, right? Knowing who you are, what is it that you want? That it gives you a different energy when you
Mm.
know what you want. And that's a big part of your presence.
Present. You know, my
Mhm.
problem is, and I'm gonna share this with you because I feel like I'm talking it's therapy right here, what we're talking about. Sometimes people confuse humility with confidence. I've heard people talk about, "Man, you act like you too confident because if I walk in a room, I'm walking with confidence. I'm there. I want you to know that I'm here. I'm there." And
Yes, yes.
certain people feel this you is like you too you overconfident or you're not humble.
Mhm.
Would you think that that's not being humble is not lack of confidence? Would you
Being, being
this
humble.
is what I'm going through. So if I'm walking in a place, you taught me that and you speak that. Every occasion is a stage. And you gotta take advantage of this stage. You asked me to pray for 5 people or in front of 1,000 people. I'm gonna take over. I will walk and build my confidence. Sh Does that play of lack of humility or overconfidence? Do you think there's an issue there? I'm asking for myself.
Right, right. So humility is humility is okay, I'm going to say it the way I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
Humility is not a lack of confidence.
Mhm.
We can have all of the confidence and in what we do in our expertise. I believe that humility is knowing where that comes from.
Does that come from? Okay.
Humility is when I walk into a room, I know that I am owning the room, but I am only able to own the room because God is leading me.
Go on. Yes.
And if God is leading me, and if all glory is to God, I should not shrink. I should not have to shrink
Yes. That's how I
because
feel.
I am showing
Yeah.
the power of God in myself. Does that make sense? Like the
It does
Spirit of
make sense to
God is
me.
with me,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? Um, and I don't have to shout, and
Mhm.
I don't have to push to be first. I just am,
Mm.
you know? And I don't think that they are mutually exclusive. My
And
humility.
thank you for sharing this because sometimes, sometimes, And again, this is when I'm trying, okay, you know what? Let me go hide in a place because I don't want people to see me as overpowering or everything else. But I want to be. I'm there and I want to make my presence felt and depending on on the presence or the audience. So I don't want to maybe
Right.
overshadow people. Is that
So
Thursday?
one of the things that I have to do, because here's the deal, I am a professional speaker and I'm an attorney, and so
Yeah.
I can talk. I can talk and I can talk and I can talk.
Uh-huh.
I know that. I am conscious about not talking.
Mm,
I am conscious about when I am in a group situation
mhm,
of doing more listening, more questioning, more inviting people to
mm,
share, who creating a safe space for other people to shine, because I don't need to shine. Do you
correct.
see what I'm saying?
I feel you. Yes.
And because I know that I do. So
Mhm,
I don't need to be forceful about it. But it is something I do consciously, not speaking,
mhm.
not taking over,
Okay.
and allowing other people to have an opportunity to speak. And then when I do speak, it's like
Yeah, it's right.
um,
They're like, "Oh my god, that was wisdom right there. Why did you say anything?" So I understand.
yeah. And
I
so
under
that's something that I am conscious of, because I know
Yeah,
I can take over a conversation. I can take
correct,
over a situation.
correct. Yeah, that I got a segue for that. Where do you see people most often sabotage their own influence without realizing it?
Mm. So, couple of things that people do
Mm. Talk to us.
that I call it confidence killers, right?
Uh-huh.
The confidence killers. And one of the things that people do that sabotages their confidence is what I call hedging language.
Mhm.
So I just want to say this is probably a bad idea, but I know that this doesn't make sense, but let me say this. You know, this like caveats that
Mhm.
they put on their words before they say them. I don't
Okay.
mean to be rude, but okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah.
things you say,
Excuse my French, but, that if somebody said that, they're gonna come.
yeah.
Okay.
So, but people do this hedging language where they're not just being confident.
Yeah.
Right? This is what I feel. I feel X, as opposed to, well, I was thinking that maybe you could
Yeah.
consider
The language,
right,
that's
the
sabotage
language.
right there.
And then the presence, the body language. How are you walking into the room? How are you standing? How are you
Correct,
speaking? Right?
correct.
If you are coming in with weak presence, that's
Mhm,
going to sabotage your confidence. Another thing that people do, and I've got to say mostly women do this,
mhm.
is they cannot accept a compliment. They cannot accept praise. If someone
Mhm.
says to them, that dress looks nice. Oh my God, it's $5 at Target. And didn't
Yeah,
no one asked,
nobody asked you for that.
no one asked you
That's
that question.
that's
Or, you
sabotaging.
they undermine their own achievements.
Mhm.
They've done something big. Oh, it was nothing. I had a lot of help. Please
Mm,
stop that.
stop.
You did a good thing.
That's
Good
right.
for you. And what I teach when I teach um, leaders is I need you to say two words. Two words.
Mhm.
What do you think they are,
Thank you.
Edison?
Thank
That
you.
right there. Someone tells you you've done a magnificent thing, a wonderful thing. They compliment you. The
Mhm.
best thing you can do is just say thank
Thank
you.
you.
You look them in the eye and you say
Mhm,
thank you. So here's what happened.
mhm,
At a time in my life when I was feeling very low, actually, it was the time that I went to that seminar
mhm,
where I was depressed, but I went to that seminar anyway. Now I knew
mhm.
that I had to pull it together.
Yeah, pull it
So
together.
I decided to change my perspective. And so when I'm at a conference like that, I'm wearing a name tag. My
Mhm,
name tag says star.
mhm.
Inevitably, people are like, oh my gosh, what a lovely name. And
Mhm.
usually I brush it off. Okay,
Yeah,
thanks. I move it on. I hear it all the time. So
great.
I don't give it much relevance.
Mhm,
But I decided that I would actually be grateful
Mm,
anytime someone gave me a compliment and that I would say, "Thank you."
thank
So
you.
a woman comes up, we're in the restroom because women like to talk to each other in the restroom. "Oh my god, famous star, how beautiful." I looked her in the eye and I just said, "Thank you so much. It was so kind of you to say that."
Mhm.
I gave her all the gratitude I have, and here's what I noticed. Now,
Right.
I did this in order to make me feel better. That's
Mhm,
why I did it.
mhm.
But her face lit up,
Right.
and she felt like she did a good thing. And what I realize is when a person is giving you a compliment, they are trying to give you a gift. And the
Wow.
best thing that you can do is accept their
That
gift.
that is good. That is so good. I like that. Like, trying to downside. Yeah, you did good. That was a great speak. "Oh, I didn't do anything." Just accept it. Thank you.
Just say
Yeah,
but just say thank you, but, like,
yeah.
really look at them and show that appreciation.
Mm,
Then it becomes a double blessing,
double
right?
blessing.
You get the blessing and they get the blessing. They
Mhm.
say that it is better to give than to receive. We gotta let people give.
Yeah.
We have
That's
to
right.
receive so that people can give.
That's right. Listen, I am receiving everything that you're dropping right now. I know you're jumping some gym. I am receiving it right now. This is awesome. This is great. But that's another question now because you kind of mentioned about accepted, and sharing. There's something I noticed that has been an issue for many leaders, basically about being vulnerable. What role does vulnerability play in leadership today? Especially in a world that value authenticity and perfection. People want to be perfect. And if you're a leader, if you're a male leader, if you're a female leader, you are running in a man world and you show up, they don't want you to be vulnerable. How important is vulnerability is in today's day?
I think that vulnerability is very important, and you're right. People
Mhm,
get on this bent where they think, no, I've got to be strong
mhm,
and never show any defects and be perfect.
mhm,
And first of all, no one is. And if you are a leader,
mhm,
people will follow a real leader.
mhm.
People will follow a real person before they will follow a robot.
Oh,
What I'm
that's
saying, a
good.
robot, a person who does it by the book and is always right and is always perfect. It's
Mhm,
hard to relate to that kind of person.
mhm,
It's hard to relate to them. But when there is a little bit of a vulnerability, a little bit of humility,
mhm.
your team is going to relate to you more. It's not about
And
being
it's true.
perfect. It's not about having all the answers. When I started training at a national training company,
Mhm.
I my first day was a disaster, and I mean disaster where people are demanding refunds. All right,
What?
it was, it was terrible, and so they would ask me questions, and instead of admitting that I didn't know, I would
Uh-huh.
try to bluff my answers. I would try
Mm.
to bluff the answer because I wanted to be perfect.
Perfect.
And then they would Google it and throw that in my face.
That was back in the day, but now they wanna chat GBT and right in your face.
Exactly. They threw it in my face and I was humiliated.
Mm.
So, because I thought I'm an attorney,
An attorney,
I'm
yes,
teaching a legal topic, I need to know everything.
correct.
I found I had much more respect when I admitted that I didn't know everything. When I admitted that someone would ask me a question, if I knew it, I'd answer it. If not, I had a giant book. I would go to the book and look it up. Or I
Mhm,
would tell them, I don't know that,
mhm,
but I can find out. Let me do the research. I have much more respect for
mhm.
being imperfect than I did when I tried to be perfect.
Mm. That is great. That is awesome. Because people will respect that. People will see, you know what? That's not that person knows, okay, I'm not that. 100% all the time. There's somebody else was would know better, was more experienced than me, and they are able to acknowledge, you know what, I that's not my expertise, but I know about this. You know, why don't I ask Star about how to put this together instead of trying to do it myself, you know? So give more credibility, I would say, to
I
everybody.
agree with that. I would agree with that, to get more credibility when you can admit what you don't know and
Mhm.
ask the people who do know.
Correct, correct. Man, storytelling, presence, confidence. In your experience, what is one story? What is one storytelling technique that instantly raised someone connection with their audience, whether on stage, on video, or in conversation? What is that one technique? Drop that sauce for me, please. What is that
You
one?
know, I think that we've kinda talked about it. I think that the one it's not a technique so much
Mm,
as just, you gotta bring in the relatability. You've gotta bring in
being relate.
the Lisa Nichols calls it the dip.
Mm,
Right? In every story, there's a low point, right? If you've ever been to an amusement park, right? You know that in the kiddie section, they have the rides that go around in a circle. They
mhm,
don't go up and down, they just go around in a
mhm,
circle. And a
mhm,
lot of speakers, they're telling a story all about their highlights.
mhm.
Highlight, 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 and more highlight. Okay,
Yeah.
that's boring story.
Mhm.
We as adults, we like a ride that has a little up and down, right?
Right.
It gives you a little bit of variety. That's what we like. That's what captures us.
Mhm.
So the best technique you can is to take your audience on a ride. That means there needs to be highs in your stories
Right.
and there
And
need
low.
lows in your stories.
Mhm.
We as people, we're not impressed with someone who is
Always at the top.
all the way at the top, has always been at the top,
Correct.
and then there's an "I can teach you how to be at the top too."
Yeah.
You can't teach me because you don't know where I come you don't understand me.
My my
But
journey.
we 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 applaud people who
Mm,
we know have come from a lower place and have built themselves up. We love that person.
mhm,
We love that person because we can see ourselves in that person. That
mhm,
it comes back to the vulnerability. If
mhm.
you show me that little bit of vulnerability, that means that we're relatable. That means that if it happened to you for you, it could happen for me.
As well. That
So it's taking the audience on the ride.
is the right is taking people from that journey from the valley to the top, that type of deal.
Yes, yes. And sometimes from the valley to the top, back to the valley and back to the
Back
top.
again. Got to
Just
the top
life
again.
sometimes, you
Yeah.
know?
Back in the valley, and then this is awesome. This is
Sometimes.
awesome. I am excited. I mean, but this is great stuff, man. I feel like we should just like in the Bible. I feel like build a house and bring you back next to me so I can ask all this question all the time now. But Coach, you've done a lot, right? From working with the one and only, you know, you work with the best of the best. And I heard people introduce me to you that you do some intro for Michelle Obama or some great names.
I've shared
No,
stages with some amazing
with
people.
some amazing people. You wrote books. What's next? What is the next? What is the season that you're in right now? And tell me about that journey that you're in right now.
So, Edison, have you ever missed a flight? Have you ever
Mm,
missed a flight? We've
yeah,
missed a flight.
I
But
did.
have you ever missed a flight to your destiny?
Mm,
Not to your destination, but to your destiny, right? It's like you're at the airport, you've got your ticket in your hand, you're
mhm,
at the gate ready to go, but for some reason, you miss your flight. You
mm,
miss your opportunity. And
mhm,
so you end up hanging out at the airport watching other people take flight, but you're stuck at the gate.
mhm,
I don't know if you've ever experienced
mm,
that, but I have,
mm.
right? I was working in an organization and I'm doing really well. I'm executive leader in this organization and it's fabulous.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time. But You know, there was a time, I think it was in 2020, where I was trying to figure out what was next for me. And I was feeling kind of sad because I'm looking over the last 10 years and I haven't accomplished as much as I wanted to accomplish. And so I pray to
Mhm,
God. I'm like, God, I need a plan. I need a business model. I just need a flight plan. You know what
mhm,
I mean? And a friend of mine calls me a little while later and says, "Hey, Star,
mhm,
I am running this business. I've got this business model. You should do it too." And that was it, Edison. That was the flight plan that I had been waiting for.
mm,
But instead of grabbing that flight plan, I said to my friend, "Well, let me work with you.
mm,
Let me work for you," because I was afraid of
mhm,
taking this chance on myself. I felt that it was more comfortable, easier for me to support someone else's vision
mhm,
than to take a chance on my own. And in that moment, Edison, I missed my flight.
mm,
That was my flight, and I missed it. So I ended up spending a few years in the airport on this extended layover, right?
mhm,
And I'm having a great time at the airport,
mhm,
Edison. I'm
mhm.
having a fabulous
Good
time
time.
because everyone loves me.
Yeah.
And I'm doing good work and I'm helping people,
Mhm,
find their stories, grow their businesses. I'm having a blast,
yeah.
but I'm building someone else's vision.
Mhm,
And it just got to a point where I heard, you know how you hear that still small voice that says, "Hey, it's time to move on." And I
mm,
was like, "No, no, I don't want to move on. It's
yeah.
comfy here. Everyone loves me here. I'm making good money. I'm helping people. Why would I want to leave?" And
Yeah.
then the voice got
Comfortable.
louder. It got louder. I think it was Oprah Winfrey say that God starts with a whisper, but then sometimes takes a brick and hits you over the head with it.
That's so true.
I was resisting, and I spent at least 6 months resisting. It's like I knew it was time to move on. I didn't want to.
Mhm,
And it got to the point where it just caused me all kinds of anxiety. I'm sleepless nights. I'm having a hard time. And then it was that one person,
mm,
right? She wanted to join the program and she was afraid of taking a chance on herself. And I
mhm,
did what I do. I am Coach Star. I
mhm,
talked to her about her dreams and about how she was worthy of
mm,
seeking her dreams and that God had a plan for her and she had an obligation to step into that.
mhm, and
And
you're
we got her packed and loaded and on her flight. And as she took off, I felt something in my heart just break. It was
mm,
uh, it was hypocrisy. I felt like a fraud. And I knew that I could not help one more person take flight on their dreams without doing it for myself.
mm,
And that was the moment that I stopped resisting. I stopped fighting. And I said, "Okay,
mm,
God, you
mhm,
want me to move on? I'm going to move on."
mhm.
And I did that in full faith. And once I let that go, I have been in such a good place. I recently had my first live event,
Congratulations. Yes.
and it was
I
so
gotta
amazing. It was so amazing.
yes.
It felt like I was in the right place at the right time. It was a full house. I sold out of my one-on-one coaching
Look,
program.
it's sold out. Yes, let's go. Yes,
It
yes.
it was just amazing, and it's just so interesting. Sometimes we hold on to the pebbles
Mhm.
when God is trying to put some boulders in our
Come
hands.
on, come on. Let's
I had
go.
to let go in order to have this place. So right now, that's what I'm doing.
Yes,
Still
then
public speaking, presentation coaching. I have a coaching program called Own Your Stage,
on
so
your
that you can
stage.
have more clarity and more confidence on every stage you take, every time you speak.
That is awesome. I am so happy for you, coach. I'm glad. I've seen some pictures. I'm like, yes, I know her. I know what she can do for you. I know what she did for me, and so I know that you're gonna do great stuff on your way to your destination from what your purpose that you create for.
Absolutely.
Because I gotta
Absolutely.
give you credit because when before I met you and before I went to the different program, but you were one of my coach and teaching us. I was just a realtor, right? I was a salesman, just a realtor. Now I'm not just a realtor. I'm a realtor with a story, with someone that what make me different than any other realtor or real estate is because I am relatable. Right?
Mhm.
My approaches are different, and that's why I'm trying to tell people, r storytelling is not for a group of people. I thought this when I first got in the program. I see a lot of people with CEOs, people with, non-for-profit and doctors. I'm like, "Man, what am I doing here? I'm a realtor. What do I need a story for?" You know? But once I understand when you help me realize the power of storytelling, how to share a story that can relate to somebody's valley
Mhm.
and tell them
Absolutely.
how you can give. Oh man, it's a life changing. I'm helping a lot of people, more people right now because I've come across somebody like you that can teach. So if someone wants to get that same blessing, if someone want to reach out to you, if someone would love to be coached and get guidance, how can they reach out to you? How is the process? Do they wait for the next summit? Do they go to your webpage? So how do they do that?
They can go to connectwithstar.com,
Okay.
connectwithstar.com, and there you'll see a link to my website and a link to my upcoming training. Now, I do a training every month called a speaker clinic.
Mhm,
Speaker clinic every month. I have another training called Amplify Your Voice. So these are always running.
mhm,
And if you go to connectwithstar.com, you'll see the link and you
mhm.
just sign up for the next one. Sign up for the next one that's coming up. That is the best way to do it. In that connectwithstar.com, you'll also see a link to my calendar,
Mhm.
so you can
And
sign up to actually have a conversation with me and let's talk about what's possible. Let's find out, what it is that you want to accomplish, where you are now, and the path that we need to get you there.
awesome, awesome. Man, this was awesome. I just enjoy the time that we spent together. I always close like this. I always close like this. I said somebody will be appointed one day to watch this video. And then I would love for you to give me a closing statement. Like somebody will feel like they lost their voice, or somebody feel like, intimidated by some kind of way. A single mom, an entrepreneur looking for to restart, and someone that is feeling like, ah, man, I've lost my joy. And that person is sitting across from you right now. What is the message? I'm gonna put you in the spotlight. I'm gonna put you up front. I want you to talk to people. Give them your heart. What would be a word that you will drop to that person now? Go ahead.
So, when I was at my low point and I went to that seminar, and there were all of these amazing speakers who were on the stage that day, 12 of them. I mean, just, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, all of these amazing speakers, but there was one speaker, Les Brown, who who spoke to me. There was that one speaker who moved me to action, and because I took action, because I heard his voice, it changed the trajectory of my life. There is someone somewhere who's waiting for your voice. Someone who is not going to hear anyone else's voice but yours. It's your story, it's your message that they are waiting for. No one else will do. So I invite you to embrace your story. I invite you to learn how to share your message because someone is waiting for it. Someone is on a bathroom floor somewhere crying. Someone is sitting on the edge of their bed somewhere waiting, hoping for an answer that you have. My invitation is don't make them wait any longer. Your voice is necessary. Your voice is has the power to heal, and you have an obligation to do everything you can to reach the ones who are assigned to you. My name is Star Babatune. I invite you to embrace your inner light and be the star that you were born to be.
Let's go. Awesome. Awesome. I am so happy to hear this. Be the star that you're called to be. Star, thank you very much. I'm telling you, I am so excited to have you today. It was a blessing. I've learned a lot. I am so happy that I've met you and then that I can call you coach. I got your number and we're talking and so I'm excited. I can't wait to read the next book. I can wait to see the next to come to one of your summit next time and hang out with you and on the stage. You
Yeah.
know, God called us to be the light, to be the star, can anything else. Thank you very much. And we are going to end this show for today. For friends who are watching, thank you. I had the one and only Star Barberton with me today. Guys, we're here every Thursday. If you have any question, you have anything that you want to know, please call us. If you want to get connected with Star, please let us know. We'd be more than happy to make the connection. With that being said, we love you. God love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. I'll see you guys next Thursday. Bye
See you later.
bye.